So for our final unit 2 review, we'll be looking at the hands. So we already talked about the carpal bones in the wrist, but now we're going to talk about the hand bones. There are 5 metacarpals. The first metacarpal, which goes to the thumb, second goes to the index finger, third middle finger, fourth ring finger, and fifth little or pinky finger. So these are metacarpals. These are the bones that make up your internal portion of your hand. When you bend your wrist, this is going to be these metacarpals are going to be moving up and down, and when you flex or extend your fingers, those phalanges or phalanx, phalanges is the plural of phalanx, are going to be articulating with the metacarpals here. So the other remaining bones in the hand are all phalanges or phalanx bone. The thumb has 2 phalanx bones, a proximal phalanx and a distal phalanx. The other fingers, or the other digits, the 4 fingers, all have a proximal, middle, and distal phalanx. And these are basically each of the joints in your fingers are where these different bones articulate. You don't need to know about these joints because once again, there's so many, we're not going to cover them in great detail. So distal, middle, proximal phalanx for all of your digits. Once again, no middle phalanx for the thumb. And then the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth metacarpal associated with the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Those are all the bones you need to know for the hand. Now we're going to go on to the connective tissue. So there's a lot of connective tissue here in the hand. There's just a few that I will require you guys to know about, and that's going to be the aponeurosis. So once again, we're looking at a palmar view of the hand here. So here's the thumb, and the aponeurosis is a group of connective tissues that several muscles that we'll talk about are going to be attaching to, as well as serving the purpose of sort of holding some of these hand muscles in place, along with a number of other ligaments and tendons that are going to keep those flexor, in this case, muscles from bowstringing or sort of popping out of place. Additionally, rotate around for a more dorsal view. We're going to talk about the extensor expanders. So you can see here's the extensor hood. I'll hide that. So this is the extensor hood. This is surrounding each finger. So once again, this is going to be holding the muscles for each individual finger in place, as well as the expansors, which is sort of difficult to see here, but basically this is the extensor expansion, so it's contiguous with the extensor. We're sort of going to treat them both as the same, and this is connective tissue that, once again, the primary purpose is holding these connective tissue in place to hold the muscles and tendons and ligaments underneath in place to make sure that your hands, as you're exerting force to flex, extend, bend, or in any way move or manipulate your hands, that you do not have the muscles and other structures inside sort of pop out of place. So just 2 connective tissues for the hand, the extensor expansion or extensor hood and extensor expansion, and then the, aponeurosis on the palm here. There's both these sort of lateral segments and transverse segments, but just know the aponeurosis overall. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to, close all my tabs. There we go. To the vasculature. So when we're talking about the forearm, we talked about the ulnar artery, and the radial artery. The ulnar artery is going to continue into the hand, and then it's going to start branching into the superficial palmar arch. So if we look at it from a bit of an angle here, we can see this is in the superficial portion of the palm of your hand, and then it will further itself branch off to provide vascular blood supply to, different structures in the superficial regions of your palm. The radial artery is going to branch into 2 different arteries. The first we'll talk about is the deep palmar arch. So similar to the superficial palmar arch, this is going to be providing vascular blood supply to the palm. In this case, deep structures in the palm as opposed to those more superficial ones. The radial artery, apologies for jerking the image around on you. Let's get this back in place. There we go. The radial artery also branches into the princeps pollicis artery, or pollicis artery. So pollicis is thumb, so princeps means sort of first among equals, so it's basically the first artery of the thumb, and it's going to be doing a similar job providing vascular supply to muscles and nerves in the thumb. So just 3 more arterial structures for the hand. the princeps pollicis artery and the deep palmar arch, both branches of the radial artery, and then the superficial palmar arch, a branch of the ulnar artery. Okay, go ahead and move on to nerves. So 3 nerves in the hand you'll need to know. These are ones you've already learned about, but we'll talk about them, sort of what they look like down here. So the first one I have highlighted is the median nerve. There's a number of different branches of these, and as you the nerves themselves continue to branch out more. But for the muscle control of the hand, most of the muscles are being controlled by either the median nerve or the ulnar nerve. The muscles that control the thumb, forefinger, middle finger, and some of those that control the ring finger are going to be from the median nerve. You can kind of see here, branch going to the thumb, index finger, middle finger, this more lateral half of the ring finger. Then we also have the ulnar nerve. So actually, let's exit there. So the ulnar nerve is going to be branching, as you can see here, and it has a number of branches as well. So the ulnar nerve is going to be providing innervation to the little finger and the medial portion of the ring finger, as well as some deep muscles within the hand. So several of the deep muscles in the hand are going to be innervated by the ulnar nerve, including the adductor pollicis muscle, which is why when we talk about ulnar neuropathies or ulnar pinching of that nerve, there's some difficulty making sort of like that OK sign or abducting or opposing the thumb and little finger. Okay. The final nerve, we're going to go ahead and rotate around and look at a more dorsal view of the hand. This is going to be the radial nerve. The radial nerve is not responsible for much motor innervation within the hand, but it is going to be responsible for quite a bit of sensory information. So just be aware as the radial nerve comes down here to the let's redo this. As the radial nerve travels into the hand and branches here, you can see that it's going to be covering a great deal of the, once again, thumb, forefinger, middle finger, and ring finger along the back of the hand, and doing sensory innervation of those regions. Okay, so radial nerve, median nerve, ulnar nerve, no new nerves, just sort of new localizations of them in the hand to be aware of, and that's all you need to know for the nervous system for the hand.